What's broken is that the new digital world is increasingly one of economic monopolies of a tiny handful of companies. 5 companies are actually worth $3 trillion. Microsoft, Apple, Google, Facebook, and Amazon. $3 trillion. They're the 5 most powerful companies in the world. We have a long-term crisis of employment because this new technology seems to be undermining jobs. We have a new kind of economy, a surveillance economy, a big data economy, where every time we use these products, we're being watched. We have a cultural crisis of fake news and of lack of civility online. It doesn't mean that all these new technologies aren't good. I mean, they're great. They changed our lives. They're very convenient. They're a lot of fun. But they're creating these long-term, profound cultural, political, and economic crises that means, in overall terms, I think the future is broken. And that's why I wrote a book called How to Fix the Future, how to unbreak it, how to fix the problems with this early stage of the digital revolution. What I argue in the book is it's profound, as historic, as structural as the Industrial Revolution, and we need to learn from the past. This isn't new. Some digital people say that we've never lived through a period like this in history, that this new technology changes everything. It changes everything perhaps, but technologies always change everything, and that's the nature of our history. Well, Jimmy Wales and Nigel Farage agree on one thing. They don't agree politically. One's quite left-wing, one's quite right-wing, one's conservative, one's liberal. But they agree that all this new technology turns everything upside down, that it empowers the underclass, the masses, that it undermines the old elites. And I think they're both wrong. I think that actually this new technology has created new kinds of elites, much more powerful than ever existed before, and in many ways, certainly in political terms, it's the underclass that's being exploited and made to look foolish. So I don't buy the idea of the democratization of all this technology. Even Wikipedia, which is a non-profit network, which is very valuable in many ways, is nonetheless dominated by a tiny handful of self-appointed editors. So we have the network effect, which is particularly true in the digital economy, which lends itself to monopolies and tiny concentrations of power. Well, it's camouflaged in the sense that the people who hold the power, the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, won't acknowledge it. So if you listen to Zuckerberg, you'd think that Facebook was owned by the people, but it's actually owned by him and a tiny group of very wealthy technologists. We fix the future as we've fixed it always in the past, with 5 tools that we've always used as human beings to articulate and manifest our agency. The first is regulation. We need political action by politicians to control some of these monopolies. We need the work of antitrust regulators like Margaret Vestager in the EU. We need new innovation. Innovation has, in a sense, hit the wall. There's some remarkable technologies, but we need new innovation in terms of business models that will actually create businesses that are in our interests rather than exploitative, certainly in the data area. We need more consumer demands. The technologies that are around today are generally not very sympathetic to the consumer. They're exploitative. So we need to learn from the past, from automotive or from food or from healthcare, and understand the way in which consumers historically have always demanded better. We, of course, need civic engagement, which is really important. That's what defines us as human beings, our ability to make our societies a better place. And we need better education innovation, not just online, not just the digitalization of education, not just AI. We need education that brings out the essential humanness of us in terms of our agency through old, new schools like the Austrian-based or the Austrian-centered, at least originally, Waldorf schools that was invented by an Austrian, Rudolf Steiner. As a whole, I think it attracted a very diverse group of speakers, very engaged audience. I'm amazed at the end of the second day that a large part of the audience stick around, very serious audience, high-quality speakers, a very well-curated event. All too often at events you have too many speakers, no real curation, so the quality of the speaking is very patchy. Some people are good, some others are very boring and irrelevant. I think the quality of the speakers at this event was very high. Everyone, I don't agree with everything they all said, but they were all high-quality, articulate speakers with important messages. So it's certainly an event I've been honored to be invited to. I'd love to speak at it again.